Hi, welcome back or welcome to my channel if you're new. My name is Laura. Hi, hello, welcome. Today we are going to do a project pan intro that is a new project for this year and I'm very excited about it. So a couple weeks back I saw Sofie Alexandra. I will have her linked in the cards and then she'll be in the description box below. But she posted an introduction to a project that she created called Project Level Up or the Level Up Project Pan or something like that. And basically it is an eyeshadow like usage project pan. So the premise is the first month we'll just show you by example, I guess. So the idea of the project is you grab your palette. The first round you use every single shadow one time and then you have to hit one pan. The next round, you use every shadow 2 times, and then you have to hit one pan. So my understanding is you only have to hit one pan at any given time. However, the number of usage increases like as you level up your palette. So I'm excited to do this. I don't know if I'm going to just like level up until like the next thing or what, but I figure since I want to do I want to do an update every month, I'm thinking that I want to do 2 palettes at a time. So I'll pull one for my first level and then the second for my second level. That way I can use them in conjunction and then update you about 2 palettes. That might be cheating, Sofie. I don't know if that's cheating, if you're okay with that, but that's how I'm going to do it right now. But obviously if it doesn't work out or it doesn't make sense, then I'm going to step back. But my idea is using the first level first, hit pan, and then move immediately to the second level. But I want to pull both palettes at the same time. But I'll use one first and then we'll move to the second one. But I just feel like there won't be enough usage or enough to update you about if I only use one palette. So there is that. So I have all of my palettes actually listed in the Tiny Decisions app. That's the spinning wheel app that you see some folks over here on YouTube using, and I believe some people on Instagram use it as well. But I have a list of all of my palettes. I have a decent amount, but there is that. I also want this to be totally separate from my Pan Those eyeshadows. So a palette, if it's in my Pan Those eyeshadows, the palette's kind of off limits because I'm already using it in a capacity. So I have been trying so far this year to, if I rotate a palette into, I'm like looking at them and pointing at them, sorry. So if I roll a shadow into my Pan Those eyeshadows, I am trying to use the palette as a whole now, whereas before I was kind of only focusing on the shadow that was in the project. But now I am trying to do it where I use the palette as a whole with a focus on the pan in particular. So any palette that's in my Pan Those eyeshadows is off limits. So currently Subculture is off limits all year. My Glam Light Ice Cream Dream, my Juvia's Place Deuce, my C Color Savannah palette. If I pull the Safari palette, we're not going to have those in at the same time. They're too similar. They're dupe palettes for each other. My Nabla Dreamy 2, and then I have a single, so that doesn't really matter. So I am going to just randomly select a palette for number 1. So we're just going to hit it a bunch of times. All right, my Juvia's Place Saharan 2. So that is going to be my first level palette. So let me pull that and show you what the palette looks like. My Juvia's, I love having my eyeshadow palettes like right behind me as I film because I can just like reach and grab them. It is very convenient and I think that this looks super nice. The bottom shelf is kind of like the catch-all shelf. I have my empties bin over here that you can't see, hair ties, perfumes, and then a little sign that my coworkers at my last job got me when I broke my collars, which was very sweet of them. But anyway, my Saharan 2 palette by Juvia's Place. This is one of my favorite palettes by Juvia's Place, and I don't reach into it enough, so I'm very happy that I'm going to be reaching into this. And not to mention, there are some good dips in this palette already, so I have a feeling I'm going to be able to hit pan relatively quickly if I'm strategic about what I use. So my Saharan palette looks like this. We do have one pan in it currently in the shade Marrakesh. It's very there's no corner, but it's like very much on the side of the pan. I have a good dip in Aziza here, as well as I have a great dip in Nomad, which is a shadow that I typically was like nervous about using before, but I don't think that it's going to be a problem to reach into every single shadow at least one time. I have like a work week worth of like shimmers now, which is nice, and then like these are super easy to like put into my rotation. So this is the palette that I'm going to be working on for level 1. I will use every single shadow at least one time with the goal to hit pan in one addition or one shadow. So I'm thinking my pan is either going to be in one of these two. Let me give you a swatch, I guess, of this palette. All right, so this is what the palette looks like swatched out. I hope that you like how I did this. I kind of enjoy doing my swatches this way. It's set up the exact same way how they would be in the palette, shade for shade. So the top middle in the middle. Does that make sense? So this guy and this guy are the ones that I feel like I can hit pan in. However, I'm super excited to dip into like this blue and especially this like minty color. I love this kind of shadow so much. Looks like I ate Cheetos. But I love this kind of shadow so much. It's one of my all-time favorite shades, and so I'm very excited to reach into this. So for level 1, we use every single shadow one time, and I have to hit one pan. Very happy about that. And just because I am a glutton for punishment, let's pick our level 2 palette. So we will use level 2 after we reach for every shadow in here one time and hit one pan. So as soon as we do that, which I don't think is going to take that long, I'm going to work on number 2. So let me just reset the wheel, and then we're going to just go boop, 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 boop. So I'm going to be using the ABH Prism palette. That palette works so good with Subculture too, so that's very exciting. Here she is, ABH Prism. That is what we're looking like. So this is a little bit more challenging because there's clearly much more shade options in this palette than we had in the Saharan 2. So as a level 2 palette, this is a pretty tall order. However, the nice thing is ABH shadows are relatively powdery, but I don't have that many dips in anything because I feel like this was in my rotation for I believe it was my December palettes. I was doing a rotating palette series rather than pan those eyeshadows, and I hit pan in Unity then. There's not really anything else glaring out at me that will be able to hit pan in. So this is going to be a stretch. So I'm glad that I'm rolling it in now with the hopes to use it for level 2, because I don't think that I'm going to be able to hit pan before the next update. Oh, maybe I should show you swatches of my ABH Subculture palette. This is not Subculture. I'll show you swatches of my ABH Prism palette real quick. I'm just getting eyeshadow everywhere. I didn't show you it before. Here are the swatches of my ABH Prism palette. So at least I can get some solid use on this. So I'm going to take pictures and do like some clips of the palette themselves. That way next month when I check in, we can kind of go and see what I've done with these palettes. But yeah, project level up. I'm really excited. Let me know if you are going to be doing this project as well. I'm super excited to get more use out of my stash. That's it. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys are staying healthy, sane, and safe, and I will catch you in my next video. Bye!